here we go. Hi there, Carson Meredith with you on this Saturday night, January 3rd, 2026. Hope you had a good new year. Hope you've had a great holiday season. We're wrapping it up on a pretty quiet note, which is a stark contrast from this time a year ago, where we were getting ready for one of the more historic winter storms we've seen in our area in quite some time. That is not in the cards this year. Instead, we're just talking about a cooler setup to wrap up the weekend, mild air next week, and then a bit of a rocky setup towards the end of this upcoming week. So that's where we are at this point. Let me get my graphics ready, and I'll take you outside. Here we go. That's a live look at the Paristown Ice Rink last weekend. For Fête de Noël, if you're not familiar with the holiday festival they do out at Paristown. That ice rink has been packed virtually every night through the holiday season. It wraps up tomorrow. Folks still getting out there enjoying it. And, you know, it's good weather to do anything wintry or holiday themed, even though we're past the new year, I suppose. We're down to 34 now here in Louisville. And it took a while, maybe a tiny bit longer than we expected, but those clouds have moved out. You may have seen it on our social media pages earlier. Had a nice sunset, bright blue sky, at least for a little bit, maybe 30 minutes in a few spots earlier. But I do expect to keep a lot more sunshine around throughout the day on Sunday. But it will be a cold sunshine. You see those temperatures haven't fluctuated a ton today. We got up to 39 in Louisville. Our forecast was 40 for what it's worth. We're already down to the 20s tonight. Excuse me, up towards Seymour, where it's 29. North of Vernon, 27. We're at 30 in Madison, 32 in LaGrange at Shelbyville, 34 in Bardstown. So pretty typical early January night. Our forecast low is 26. We've got mostly clear skies, obviously, so that'll allow those temperatures to drop a bit faster than they did last night or the night before that or the night before that, because we've got clear skies, which we haven't had much of lately. So 26 our low tonight. I will say there could be a few of those thin, wispy clouds that try to stream in overnight tonight. It's likely not going to be enough to cause these temperatures to be kept in check, I suppose. So we'll all likely be in the mid-20s when you wake up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, really nice day. Chilly still, yes, still cool, but it is January. We'll go with a high of 42, so maybe a couple degrees warmer tomorrow. Lots of sunshine throughout the day, but you're still going to have those thin, wispy clouds out there. And as we get into Sunday afternoon, I do expect those thin, wispy clouds to thicken up just a little bit. So likely more cloud cover late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, and then those clouds will retreat again as we head into Monday. So all in all, a couple of nice sunny days lie ahead, which is nice. And eventually, we've got some warmer temperatures to back it up too. Next week looks quite mild, which again, compared to last year, is polar opposite. We were talking about almost a foot of snow, a little bit of ice, temperatures in the teens and single digits. That's what we had to kick off January in 2025. Not so much in 2026. How about Monday? You see Louisville right there, the center of the map. I'll circle it for you. We go up to 54 degrees. This is for Monday. So Monday, quite honestly, might be the pick of the week, mainly because it's comfortable. It's mild, right, in the 50s, but that also looks to be the sunniest day that we have for this first full week of the new year. Tuesday, we go to 59 degrees, maybe briefly touching 60. That'll just depend on how much cloud cover we have. We will have more clouds on Tuesday, and there is going to be the chance for a few light showers Tuesday evening as a weak system scoots through. It's only a 20% chance, shouldn't be a big deal. We get into Wednesday, staying mostly cloudy in all likelihood. But as we mentioned, that Tuesday evening system, it's pretty weak. It's not going to cool us down much. We'll likely just hold steady near that 60 ballpark on Wednesday. And then by Thursday, we are in the lower 60s. 62, not bad at all. So that's the good part of our extended forecast. We've got some milder air on the way, but there's always a trade-off when you're talking about mild air this time of year in the form of rain. As we get towards the end of next week, the weather pattern becomes unsettled once again. Our next big weather maker is on track to arrive Thursday now. Earlier in the week, it looked like maybe Wednesday would start to get a little damp. Wednesday's trending a lot drier. So we're really going to focus on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame. All right. This is when we'll see, it looks like, several rounds of rain, 2, possibly 3 rounds of rain towards the end of next week. Rainfall amounts, I'll show you the map in a second, but in general, we're looking at a solid 1 inch of rain, if not slightly higher in a few spots. And there is a thunderstorm potential too that we'll have to keep an eye on. Excuse me. Does it look like last Sunday night? Not right now. But we all know what happened last Sunday night. It didn't look like a ton, and then there it went, right? So we do need to monitor that thunderstorm potential as we head into Thursday night and early Friday. Also during that time, it's going to get windy. We will likely have non-thunderstorm wind gusts near or over 40 miles an hour as we head into Thursday night and early on Friday. And once this system finally moves out heading into next weekend, it is going to turn cooler once again. So here's Futurecast. And by the way, guys, I don't have a ton to talk about tonight, so this will probably be an abbreviated discussion, but I'll get to your comments here in a minute. So here's Thursday. This is during the day on Thursday. And you can kind of tell that we've got a warm front that will likely be lifting through. That's the big reason why we'll be in the low 60s on Thursday. In fact, depending on the timing of this warm front, we may actually see those temperatures climb into Thursday night, kind of a flip-flop setup where we actually warm up as the night goes on, which is the opposite of what usually happens, right? So Thursday afternoon to Thursday evening, you notice those rain chances start to climb along the warm front. And then we get into Thursday night and early Friday. Now, you could tell the low pressure's out here in Missouri. You could tell the warm front has lifted up towards Cleveland, Pittsburgh, so on and so forth. And then further to the south, you can see the general placement of that cold front right there. And the question that we are going to have to monitor and eventually answer with this system when it comes to the storm potential is how much storm fuel do we have? Sound familiar? Yeah, similar setup again with this cold front that moves in Thursday night into Friday. If it moves in at the wrong time, we could have more of a stormy setup on our hands. And by wrong time, I mean during the daytime hours when there's an opportunity for more storm fuel, more instability. If it moves in later in the night, like after midnight, won't have a ton of storm fuel, not a ton of instability, and whatever storms we will have will all come down to how much wind energy we have, which again, going back to last Sunday night, we had a ton of wind energy, and that's why we had a brief EF0 tornado in Harrison County. I'm not saying it's anything like that set up at this point, but I do think we will have some storms in that Thursday night, early Friday window, at least as it stands right now. That's kind of the time frame I'm focused on. And again, depending on that specific hour-by-hour timing, there's a possibility that some of those storms could be strong. So it's just kind of something to monitor for the time being. We don't have alert days yet. This is kind of your first alert that Thursday night into Friday could have a few storms to contend with, in addition to the rounds of rain. And it will be windy too. So just an all-around messy setup towards the end of the work week. And we're still trying to nail down exactly when that cold front clears the area. It's one thing for it to move through and in the storm potential. It's another for the front to move completely out of wave country, completely out of the Ohio Valley to where we can quiet things down. This is the European model I'm showing you. It dries us out pretty quickly into Saturday. The GFS model, which I don't have here for you tonight, but you can look it up online, of course. It's a little slower, keeping some precipitation around into next Saturday. And I say precipitation because if you look at the top of the map, see up here, up in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, that is snow. And depending on the trajectory of the system, the trajectory of the low, it's not out of the question for some flakes to swipe in here 1 week from tonight, next Saturday night into the following Sunday, the 10th and 11th. If we do see any flakes next weekend, it would likely not amount to much, but that is also something that we'll have to keep in mind. It's been a very repetitive setup here for 3 weeks now, something like that, where you get a strong cold front that rolls through with some wind, heavy rain and thunder. Then it gets really cold really quick, might end as a few flakes. We've done this twice now that I can remember. This might be the third time as we get into next weekend. So just in general, I probably went into too much specifics, but late next week into next weekend does look to be unsettled. Here's your rainfall amounts, by the way. We're going to broad brush it right now. Again, here's wave country right here where I'm circling. And in general, we're looking at a solid 1 inch of rain, I think, in most spots. You notice kind of the heaviest axis of rain, according to the European model, is mainly to our north and west. So from Oklahoma City up towards Fayetteville, Arkansas, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Cleveland. That's kind of the main zone where we might get 1 to 2 inches of rain. Right now, we look to be on the southern side of that heaviest rain and pick up maybe up to 1 inch of rain with only some isolated amounts higher than that. So that's kind of the big picture view of what we're watching as we get towards next weekend. Again, it's Thursday through next Saturday for now. If I wanted to be more specific at this point, it's Thursday night into early Friday, where we may have to keep a closer eye on wind, just wind in general, as well as maybe a few thunderstorms. Thursday night, next Friday, kind of that general window. Here's the 10-day. And again, I'm not going to ramble on too long tonight because we can handle this kind of a setup, right? Nothing too crazy. I'm not going to be sitting here for 4 hours tonight tracking severe weather, thankfully. Nice day tomorrow. A little chilly again, but lots of blue sky, 42. Clouds filter back in tomorrow afternoon. They clear out tomorrow night. More sunshine Monday with a high of 54. Near 60 both Tuesday and Wednesday. Low to mid 60s Thursday into Friday. Again, there might be a possibility we actually warm up into Thursday night, depending on when that warm front lifts through. And then as the cold front moves in Thursday night into early Friday, as it stands, may have a thunderstorm and wind potential to watch. No alert day right now, but we're going to keep an eye on the trends for sure. And then you see towards the end of the 10-day, we go back to reality with those highs in the low 40s and those morning lows in the 20s. So that's where we stand at this point, friends. Fairly straightforward start to 2026. But I know a lot of you Bots fans are not huge fans of this 10-day because there's really only that one minor snow chance as that colder air moves back in next weekend. All right, who's here tonight? Who's here? Leo says hello, and Crestwood. Cameron, yes, we are back. We are back to your regularly scheduled programming, I suppose. I'll do my live stream tomorrow night around this time, as I always do. And then Brian will be back on Monday. Snow Talk will be back on Monday. It may be Storm Talk, but the blog will return in its entirety on Monday. Jay, hello, hello. Judy, how you doing? Jason, how are you in Cloverport? Will snow, will winter come back? Yes. The question is when? It's hard to say. I mean, it looked as though much of January would be pretty unsettled. And yeah, we've got unsettled weather next week, but it's too warm, right? So I do expect we'll have more bouts of winter. Guys, it is the first weekend of the new year. We've got a long way to go. We got another 2.5 months, maybe 3 months before we can officially call this winter done with. So hang in there, snow lovers. It'll flip in your direction again soon. Hello from Finchville. Kim's here. Yeah, good point. The wolf moon, I believe it is out, and you can actually see it this evening. So go check it out. We're already past the peak illumination, if you will, with that full moon, but still be a cool sight to see if you're out and about this evening. Hi, Braden. Hope you're well. DJ King up in North Vernon. How we doing? Yeah, I do think we'll have a pattern flip again, Cameron, later in January. I haven't had a lot of time to look at the long-term stuff. I bet you Brian has. He'll give you a full update on Monday, I'm sure. But there will be a flip again. There will be a flip again. There's no doubt. Happy New Year, Weather Geek. Yeah, go check out that moon. Sounds like it's pretty bright out there tonight. Let's see. Leo, we kind of talked about the strong storm potential. If that front moves in during the daytime hours, we will have more instability, which could mean more strong storms. But at the same time, this time of year, you don't need a ton of instability. How many times have we said that this winter already? As we saw last weekend, we had hardly any instability and we still had trouble. So it does bear watching. I don't think the atmospheric dynamics, the big picture stuff, I don't think it's as strong as what we had last weekend. But I still do think we'll have storms. The question is, how strong will they be? And we'll figure that out in the days to come. Let's see. Smarty C. Jones on YouTube. Looking to go fishing soon. When's the best shot to go? I'm looking for an overcast day in the high 50s to mid 60s. I would say Tuesday or Wednesday will be your pick. We'll likely have mostly cloudy skies, especially Wednesday. Tuesday, those clouds will be filtering in, but it might be a little too sunny early in the day, I suppose. But either of those days, we got highs near 60, more clouds than sun, and low rain chances. So that might be your good fishing days this week. Hey, Shonda, how are you? Lori, hello. Foggy in New Albany and the Knobs Thursday night to early Friday morning. Yeah, it's possible, certainly. With all that rain around. If nothing else, it may not be fog necessarily, but it'll just be that low stratus, that low cloud cover, or that just the rain, or if it's not raining steadily, just mist and drizzle. So visibilities will be a little low late next week for sure. Hi, Shirley. Stevenson, Alabama. Sand Mountain, my old stomping grounds. It's been 2 years since I was last on television in North Alabama, but hope you're well, Shirley, out there in Stevenson. Hope you're having a good start to the new year. Amy needs winter to make a big comeback. I think a lot of people do. I'm good, but I know a lot of you want winter for sure. Meanwhile, Tommy wants summer in January to make a comeback. Yeah, what was it last weekend? We had 75 on Sunday before those storms came in. I don't see that anytime soon, but you got a few 60s ahead. Hello, Angela. Not too bad. Yeah, we don't have much of a wind. That is good. There was a little wind early this morning, but it's relaxed as the day's gone on. So there's not a huge wind chill to contend with. So that's good. All right. Bradley, when you say there's a big change, what do you mean? Well, a couple things with this 10-day, I suppose. One big change is we're going to be warming up into the 50s and 60s. Another big change we get towards next weekend, we cool back down into the 40s. So mainly just focusing on those temperature swings that we have coming up over the next week or so. All right. That's all I got, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, all in all, not too bad. Pretty quiet. We'll keep a close eye on the end of next week, obviously. Again, I do think storms are on the table Thursday, especially Thursday evening at this point. We'll wait to see if we have to worry about strong storms. Still need more data to look over that. I think at minimum, it's just going to be rainy, windy, and messy, if nothing else, as we head into Thursday and Friday. So we'll keep an eye on the strong storm risk. Nothing to fret about right now. Until then, enjoy the sunshine the next couple of days. Enjoy the milder air before it starts to rain as well. And I'll be back here tomorrow night, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. I'll be on TV, of course, as always, tonight at 11. And then again, all day tomorrow. Shonda's been missing the lives. Yeah, you know, we've all been working crazy schedules with holiday time, with time off during the holidays. But we will all be back to normal starting on Monday. So the lives will return in full force this upcoming week. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. I'll see you on the news at 11. If I don't see you then, we'll be gathering right back here around the same time tomorrow night. Take care.